Hey there, music maker. I've recently gotten back in touch with my electric guitar roots, and it's been a little overwhelming sifting through all of the options that are available to us guitar players in the digital realm these days. Don't get me wrong, I love my analog rig, and I will still continue to use that regularly on the gig, but for a number of reasons, I've wanted to invest more in modeling and profiling technology, mainly just to see where we are at this point in guitar history. Well, I'm really excited today because I've got this new product from LEKATO, the Tank-G, which is a really neat little multi-effects unit. Some of you have heard me talk about on previous videos how I've invested in a Boss Katana. I also have a Kemper Profiler, and those each have their own specific uses, but the minimum buy-in for any one of those is around $500 or $600. This unit stands starkly in contrast at $80 for just this unit. It's got impulse responses, it's got multiple amps on it, it's got multiple effects on it, so I'm really excited to see how this stacks up against all of my other gear. First off, I just want to say a huge thanks to LEKATO for sending me this Tank-G to test out for you. There are links below in the description if you are interested in one of these units for yourself. They are not affiliate links. LEKATO has not paid me to make this review or anything like that. I'm just giving you my honest opinion of this product. All right, before we get into the specifics of this thing, let's unbox it. All right, so there's the Tank-G itself right there. Also included in the box, we have a little 3.5mm TRS cable. This is to plug it into your smartphone if you want to record into something like that, or you can use it for the mono out jack on the back of this unit. We also have a USB-C cable for charging. It's USB-A to USB-C, but you can use a USB-C cable. And then we've got the user manual. At first glance, this is a really hefty unit. It's a metal construction and all metal buttons and everything, so this seems to be made to stand against, you know, some wear and tear and all that kind of stuff. Pretty straightforward layout right off of the bat. From left to right, we've got a master volume, a switch to select the impulse response, like the different cabinets that you have. We've got some effects after that, reverb, delay, and then we've got modulation effects. I believe there are 3 modulation effects on there. Then we've got volume, bass, middle, treble, so your EQ controls, gain. The amplifier type, I believe there are 8 models to choose from there. And then we've even got a built-in noise gate. Pretty cool, right? There are 4 control switches here, and as I understand it, a couple different modes on the unit, but we'll test that out here in a minute. And then on the back, we've got an input for your guitar. We've got an output that you can take to a smartphone or a tablet if you want to use that 3.5mm TRS cable. We've got a headphone out so you don't disturb your roommates with practice. We've also got the 1/4" output. That's something that you could send to an amplifier or cabinet if you're using that. The on-off switch, and then the USB charging port. Also, in addition to all of the outputs that are on the back, we also have an XLR out. This is something that I would recommend taking to your audio interface or direct into a soundboard if you're doing that at a gig. As you can see, when we turn this thing on, it lights up, and a lot of these colors signify different modes, but we'll get into that right now. For the first test today, we're going to take the Tank-G and hook it up via XLR to my Focusrite Scarlett interface into Logic Pro. Let's see what that sounds like. Okay, so the first thing that I want to point out here on the Tank-G is that when you power on the unit, you actually have a built-in tuner available to you. If you just take the middle 2 buttons, press down and hold for a few seconds, you'll notice a minus sign come up on the little digital readout screen. Now your mod effects knob is going to be the center point of the tuner. It'll light up green whenever the string is in tune, and then to the left, lights are going to tell you how flat you are. To the right, the lights on the knobs are going to tell you how sharp you are. Pretty simple. To get back into your presets, just hit those buttons and release really quickly. Then you are in preset mode. In preset mode, you've got 9 different banks with 4 different kind of amp presets available to you there. In this first preset, we've kind of got a clean channel on amp 1 here. Let's just go ahead and toggle through and see what they've got in store for us. Preset 2 there. Preset 3 and 4. And you can hear that each one of these different presets has a bunch of different effects available to us here. Well, the really cool thing is that you can go into what's called live mode from here to toggle on different effects or to change each of the amp's parameters. To go into live mode, we hit the middle two buttons again, but we don't hold down like we did for the tuner. We just hit and release. An L will pop up on the screen. Now I'm in live mode. So let's see what happens when I'm on preset 1 in live mode. Back to my dry signal again. But now we can choose different amp cabs over here on the left. You can tell there are slight variations in sound. I'm just going to go back here to the first one. And you'll notice as you're turning this cab button here, the interesting thing is that if the orange light on top turns off, that means your impulse response is turned off. So if you're loading this into a unit that has impulse responses, say your DAW, like Logic Pro, like I'm using here, has impulse responses, or your amp or cabinet that you're using has impulse responses, you can just turn this off and let the dry signal feed directly into that. For now, I'm just going to keep it on the first impulse response. So now that we're in live mode on preset 1, if I hit the first switch here to the left, we've got my reverb. Pretty spacey kind of reverb. Turn that off. The next one we've got delay. There we go. I like a slapback delay sound. Cool. So we've got some delay going on there. I like that slapback tone. Moving forward, we've got our modulation effects, so like flanger and phaser and all that stuff. Moving forward, now we've got our amp switch over here, and this toggles our like amp volume, bass, middle, treble, all that stuff, so we can kind of like modify the parameters of the amplifier from there. We can then select the amplifier type up here as well. So if I want that clean tone, I go all the way to the left, and then from the left, we've got the next amp setting, next one, next one, next, 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 next. So we've got 9 different amp effects in total. I'm going to keep it on 8 here for a minute. Let's check this out. Now the gain all the way up on it. Shreddy. Clean tone. Put some verb on it. Let's see if we can calm that down a little bit. So here's reverb 1. It goes from like a small room to like a big hall. Reverb 2, it's a little more ambient. Then reverb 3. Or like a modulation kind of reverb, big hall. Alright, just for reference, that was with the reverb and the amp switch on. Alright, now I've just switched this back into preset mode, and I've gone up to bank 2. So let's check out what's there. Nice clean reverb tone. Little grungy rhythm tone, dig it. high gain tone. So you can have a lot of fun even just switching through all of the different presets that LEKATO has put on here. But like I said, going back into live mode, then you can fine tune anything that you like. Now, I can't accurately represent this for you on the video right now, but I have tried this out with the headphones on. It sounds really nice, especially if you leave the impulse responses on. Whenever you turn it all the way off, if you're going straight into Logic or if you're going into your headphones, it just has that like dry, kind of crappy digital amp tone. But definitely leave the IR response on and have some fun toggling between them, because I found that actually a few of the higher numbered IR responses sounded better in the headphones than the DAW. So you'll just have to do a little bit of experimentation that way. So final thoughts, who is this thing for? LEKATO, I think, has tried to make this something that a musician could actually use live on the gig. Like I said, it's a really nice metal casing. It feels and looks exactly like the foot switch that comes with my Boss Katana. And it's very, I think, rugged. You know, this thing could take a beating at a live scenario. Now, would I want to use this one on a gig? The user interface might prohibit me from taking this to a live gig where I needed to switch a bunch between different tones. Maybe if I spent some time with this unit and dialed in my banks really well, it would work switching between them, but I think that I would want a different kind of user interface so I could see my signal chain a little better and switch the effects on and off. That being said, if you're just getting started out, you don't have a lot of money, but you're looking for some decent amp tones, this thing could totally take you there. We live in such a great age for digital amp gear, in my opinion, right now, because an $80 unit, that's right, this thing is 80 bucks. It sounds to me comparable to any of the other floor multi-effects units that you're going to get from Boss or Digitech or anything like that. Because I play electric in a lot of different scenarios, I still think that professionals could get a lot of use out of this unit as well. This is a great thing to have for teaching. I teach at a college where I have to load my gear in and out every day, and this could totally save me some time by just having this standalone unit that I can plug into the speakers that I have at school, and it'll sound really convincing and great for electric guitar lessons. I could definitely also see using this for recording scenarios, especially for making YouTube videos, so content creators could get a lot out of this unit. Or, like I said, if you're just kind of like a bedroom picker, you're looking for some cool amp models to have and you don't want to shell out a lot of cash, this thing is definitely for you. $80, folks, $79.99 on Amazon. To me, that's a killer deal. Just for reference, the cheapest Boss multi-effects unit that you can get, the ME90, is $349.99 at Sweetwater right now. So as you can see, the $80 price tag on the LEKATO unit makes it a considerable value in comparison to some of the bigger names in digital multi-effects. Does the Boss sound a lot better? Considering that I have a Boss Katana and have played through it a lot, I can't really say that the effects and the models on that amp sound so much better than the LEKATO that I would immediately jump on the Boss. I think both units actually require a little bit of tweaking to get the sounds that you like, and if you're willing to spend time with the LEKATO unit, I bet that you can get a tone that you would be happy with. So I'm just going to give you a quick demo of the Tank-G run into my Scarlett 18i20 interface and then into Logic Pro on my Mac. Just a quick note though, I have played this unit through my Boss Katana and via the headphones, and both sound awesome. You might want to mess with the impulse response as you're switching between those three playing scenarios though, because I noticed that I prefer different impulse responses for kind of each different scenario. Alright, we're back in preset mode here, and now I'm just going to show the tech setup. So once we got this unit plugged in here, trace the XLR down to my Scarlett interface. All right, music maker, that is it for the review of the LEKATO Tank-G. I think it's a great value, and if you're looking for a multi-effects unit and you're maybe a little budget conscious, this is definitely the one for you. Go ahead and click that link below in the description and check it out on Amazon. Lastly, a huge thanks to the folks at LEKATO for sending me this unit to review. Once again, I was not paid or anything for this. This is just my honest opinion of the Tank-G. All right, music maker, thanks so much for sticking around this long, but don't go anywhere, okay? We've got more videos coming up for you right here.